actually for Yowie, despite the fact that they'd have the ability to first pick him.
Notice, Ser was banned by Yo Flash Wolves, I think, before. And now they banned their own champ. Now we have Naris ban as well, so we have Rek'Sai, of course. We will have Jarvan, Lissandra is open too, of course. We will have a lot of possibilities right here. I wouldn't leave open Lissandra, I would say, actually. It depends if they play it or not, but I would actually pick it ASAP.
Well, Rek'Sai is first picked, and right now they don't have the threat of running into the Jarvan combo because they just banned it for themselves. So I think Rek'Sai is a really good first pick here right now, and AHQ, what they should do is definitely just... they have like all the options to themselves too. They have like Janna is a very high priority, Lissandra, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see Lissandra.
Yeah.
They don't have to pick Jarvan right now, which I think is a mistake because the enemy already locked on Rek'Sai. Just make sure that you save priority picks in the first rotation. And they actually choose not to, and they locked in Jarvan, Lissandra, so they actually signalize like, yeah, we do the team fight, go incom. But then on the other side you have like, yeah, Irelia. Irelia does very good against Lissandra too with jungle pressure, and we see what happened last game when the jungle is involved a bit in the top lane and we just lane swap. So yeah,
I think it would have been really smart if they would have picked Lissandra plus Irelia, because Lissandra can very well play mid lane. And
that the biggest problem is you give away the flex pick already then.
That is true. On the other hand, they don't need to pick Jarvan right now. So maybe pick Sivir, maybe?
Sivir would be my choice right now because Sivir is like the huge power pick, and you want to deny that pick. What also is a really good pick and is not being picked or prioritized in those games is Janna. Janna should be first pick in every single game if you can play her, I think, in my opinion at least. But yeah, the teams have different priorities.
Well, I mean, Janna was a champion that GreenTea played in last week, and his game looks like he is going to focus on it this time around. So it looks like the Janna will get locked in. Sivir also alongside him. So it's a solid bottom lane combo this time around. We did already see SwordArt locking in that Morgana. It worked so well for him last time around. No surprises if Corki comes back in again.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either. Although Sivir is sort of correct against Corki overall, because you can use your shield to stop the Q of Corki, which is crucial, you know, for that trade.
Sivir hard counters Corki simply because that's why Corki went down in the priority list too, because of Sivir's race. What people have been doing against Sivir when Sivir is being locked in early, just to match the trading power in lane and deny her a bit of farm, is to pick Caitlyn. Caitlyn is actually like a huge power
really
pick.
Strong, yeah.
It's really strong in lane. You can rotate and then you can take towers very fast, and even in lane swap, Caitlyn is just perfect. But I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, I mean,
Tristana is the same kind of champion. Yeah, same kind of champion.
Yeah.
Like
it takes a bit of time to ramp up, but yeah, Tristana is generally fine, and I like it over the Corki pick here too.
We see the Xerath pick. See, Xerath pick right now against this team, which has this movement speed boost and the Jarvan engage, which you really cannot do anything against, plus the Lissandra E in. I think it's too much going for Xerath to survive. I think it's way too optimistic to pick it.
We had the same situation last game too, where Xerath got picked into the same comp, and I think those teams are not afraid to actually pick immobile carries because they know, okay, we know we are that much better than their opponent, so we can just pick the Xerath and fit them into our team comp. And we saw how well it worked out with the... They're going for the same team composition again, and I would be surprised.
I know the GreenTea's just trolling us here. Obviously, the westdoor Twisted Fate is famous, but
he's like, hover over it.
Maybe it's like to try and build up the crowd, get the crowd behind them. They're gonna lock it in. We're gonna see westdoor Twisted Fate.
Just for the public, for the crowd.
Well, I mean, he played Mordekaiser already earlier on. Like, westdoor apparently is not scared of picking champions where he can say, look at me guys and look what I'm playing. Twisted Fate this time around. We'll see how that works out for him. And well, I mean, it is his signature champion. So you know, comfort picks when you're behind in a best of 3 might be the way forward here for AHQ.
The original ulti in there, and Zhonya's Hourglass just trolled the entire team. That was the man that started it all off. So pick commands locked in there. UA Flash Wolves going with, other than Tristana, in exact same team as the last matchup, and we saw how that worked out. It was I think 16-2 at the end of the game, 20,000 gold differential. Are we expecting to see the same here, or have AHQ come out better in the pick and bans?
I believe Morgana is huge against this team, against TF, against Lissandra, against absolutely anything, you know. I think Morgana is so crucial pick right here. If they wouldn't have got Morgana, I would have probably told you otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, Xerath has Cleanse. He chose Cleanse against TF. It's very good because once you get like TF gold carded into the stun, it's actually huge for them to avoid that, and it's a very good choice. But overall, if you just look at the team AHQ's team composition has like so many power picks that are super popular right now, and they actually have the better team fighting in my opinion. And if they get that tiny lead in the early game, they should be able to just snowball that game and catch people off guard with that team composition like TF and Sivir to follow up. And they have so much movement speed, and if you just look at the catch potential they have in their comp like Jarvan, Lissandra, Ultimate, TF port, it's just too much to handle. And it highly depends on the early game again to see how this game works out.
Well, here we go then. We are into our second game of this semi-final best of 3. Of course, it's the Yowie Flash Wolves now moving over onto the blue side with a 1-0 lead. They have 1 foot in the final, Demon. It's exactly what I wanted to say at the end of game number 1, and this time I got it right.
I like the little rave music we had at the start of it as well. It's like boom, boom, boom. Okay, we're going to the game. We'll get a bit of a rave in Taipei maybe when they get the matches underway. Anyway, let's give you a quick roster rundown. If you did miss game 1, if you've just tuned in, it is the early hours here in Europe, but over in Taipei, things are hotting up. For the Yowie Flash Wolves, we have Steak on Irelia in that top lane, Karsa on the Rek'Sai in the jungle, Maple on Xerath in that mid lane, and NL and SwordArt and the duo lane partnership on Tristana and Morgana.
And of course on the other side for AHQ we have Ziv on Lissandra looking for a better start this time around. Albis on Jarvan, westdoor playing his signature Twisted Fate and playing Sivir, and GreenTea, who was another standout player for AHQ if we look at their obviously changed now roster that they went into at Worlds. GreenTea was a part of that along with westdoor, and other players are all changed since then. And well, AHQ need to come up big here, need 2 games in a row now. And well, the Yowie Flash Wolves, they've come out, obviously have a 6-1 record in the LMS so far. And so far here, Intel Extreme Masters not dropped a map, beating the Bangkok Titans 2-0 and 1-0 up here against AHQ.
Can they make it the perfect game trying to get through? We'll see if it works out for them. We do have the buddy system once again. This time around, though, we will see Ziv going in towards that top lane. He will again be in a 2v1 situation. But this time around, it is going to be Steak that's a long way from his lane. We do see An down the bottom on his own, getting his farm on, keeping the freeze on, as his NL in that top lane as well. So we see once again the 3-man stack moving around the jungle for the Yowie Flash Wolves.
And westdoor here down to about half HP actually from this middle lane, and Maple just keeping his distance, just hammering away as much as he can. Yeah, doing a good job so far of landing those skill shots. And you know, in this last game we saw both mid laners burn flash early on, but there was never really any follow-up to either of those burnt flashes, funnily enough. It was kind of like, your flash is gone. There was no real pressure from the other mid laner, and the jungler didn't really pressure after that either. So we'll see if that's you know, a difference in this game, whether they try to focus a bit more on that mid lane.
For sure, it's TF now instead of Karus. The good thing of Karus, I mean, the only good thing of Karus in lane is that you have a lot of range. It's probably the highest range of any hero. So you can play very defensive, and even when you have no flash, you maybe don't lose as many creeps, you know?
We are seeing 2 versus 2 on the top side of the map. Support joining along there with Ziv. But look at this, they're going in for An already. He's going to be in all kinds of trouble. We'll have to use the summoner heal there and the flash. So both summoners down. That's very dangerous for your AD carry that's left completely alone in the lane.
The AD carry of HQ, AN, actually committed a little mistake right there, which is attacking Irelia, allowing her to stun her. If she wouldn't have attacked, she wouldn't have need to flash for sure.
With that summoner spell burnt out, it could spell trouble. We'll see if it gets countered, whether we see Rek'Sai paying yet another visit down there. At the moment, though, we've got a roaming support. GreenTea coming to take a peek in that mid lane. Maple keeping westdoor dancing away on that Twisted Fate.
Actually, Twisted Fate went Crystalline Flask. That automatically wins you the lane. I mean, you invest into a Crystalline Flask when you expect not to win the lane, but you want to win it with it. Because it's an item that gives you nothing afterwards, you know? I think it's 275 gold or something like that, that you use for nothing.
Well, I mean, technically you get nothing from a Doran's ring as well, but obviously you get the hit points and the mana regen, etc. from it, yeah. So it does, it sticks around for a lot longer, let's put it that way. We do see, once again, Karsa paying a visit. He's going to go unseen in towards the brush, as is Stake. None of them spotted so far. We'll see whether we're going to get a flash engage from Karsa. Remember, no flash on Anne.
This could be very dangerous. There they are. They're going to go in towards Anne. Can they actually get a knock-up? They will. And down to half HP. They've got the damage to finish him off, and that will be first blood for Karsa on Rek'Sai. And again, this Rek'Sai pick for Karsa been so successful so far. Continues as it was in the previous games as well.
That's unlucky, I think, for Anne. He had the spell shield up, but they waited so long. Karsa delayed popping up, waited for that spell shield to be burnt off, waited for Stake to pop it out, and then straight away made it count. westdoor tried to get around the backside there, was already spotted out. Maple gave the warning. Team communications working well. Pink ward as well in that back of the red bush, the usual spot. And westdoor, the vision's going to work out for him. It's the old classic when you're against Twisted Fate. You just got to remember you've got a deep ward out the sides to spot that ultimate. And of course, he can't traverse the entire map like you used to be able to. It does, of course, give Albis the information to go out and sweep out that pink ward. But Maple back in his mid lane. He's doing a pretty good job at controlling westdoor so far.
If you're AHQ in this situation, all you have to do is just farm up, and wait for the first team fight, because you indeed have the better first team fight, even second team fight. So if I was them, I wouldn't just go too crazy about this first blood or anything. Just start mid lane.
Yeah, westdoor actually going low in that middle lane will actually be forced to back away, I think, from this one. I'm going to use quite a lot of that crystalline flask already. Did have Jarvan come down to this bottom lane, but wasn't able to get anything going there either. So Albis not being too successful on that front, and Maple continues to rack up the CS, closing in on a 10 CS lead at this point. We'll see how that one all really works out.
Q, man.
Yeah, and I mean, that's one reason why you maybe would go crystalline flask. I mean, you know that Maple hits everything.
If he knows the guy hits everything, I would as well go, but it's actually crazy. I think he missed like one.
Well, Maple, maybe unknown to you guys, obviously at home, but certainly not unknown to westdoor, who obviously picked into this one. It's like, yeah, I know, I've played against this guy too many times. Yeah, he is landing everything right now. Stake's doing a very good job, actually, keeping up the CS. We can see the lanes can be frozen out here, and we have had a rotato. NL is coming down the bottom lane alongside SwordArt, so the AD carriers will be up against each other. That means, of course, it will be Ziv versus Stake. Very different case from the last matchup, though. They're going to be equal in farm. We'll see how that Lissandra versus Irelia works out.
This actually reminds me a lot, man. This fight in the mid lane reminds me a lot of, you remember when Nidali was picked a lot, Nidali AP, where you were just throwing spears. You have days, or you have games rather, that you hit literally every single spear, and you had games that you were completely useless and you lost the game alone because you didn't hit anything. And
then you have games on Twisted Fate where you just can't pull the yellow card to save your life.
Yeah, I mean, I know which day I have more regularly.
So does Reggie,
sure.
Don't worry.
Oh, we are going to see Albis finally making a move now towards his top lane. I'm just ignoring it all. And, well, it wasn't exactly well timed because Lissandra pushing that wave out thoroughly, and it means that Albis has to do a roll around the top side. He's going to be waiting in that brush, though. We'll see if he can actually get in. I'm not sure that Stake needs to move at this point.
They know where he is. I think he went past his ping ward, but look at the blue buff. They've immediately gone straight in and said, well, if you're away from this, we are going to steal away your blue buff. So Karsa in there. We'll see whether they manage to keep a hold of their own, as it were. But that's actually going to hurt westdoor quite severely.
Yeah, this is actually huge because TF, yeah, exactly. TF will not go Athens and Holy Grail. Therefore, he will need the blue buff because TF needs to be close range with the blue card, and sometimes you really cannot do that. So it's not reliable. Therefore, he needs the blue buff. This is huge.
I just saw there a flash used by Stake. Did flash away from the flag and drag. Yeah, they're on that bottom side of the map here. They've already started off and have got halfway through the health bar of the dragon. Only Janna there, and we'll peek out and say, oh, guys, they're doing dragon. It's already gone here, though. And that'll be the Yoi Flash Wolves continuing as they went in the first game, dominating the dragon control. They'll pick up the first here as well.
They're much quicker at reacting. As soon as they warded Albis in that top lane, they suspected he was there because they went and took the blue buff so easily. They had it on the timer. And then they go and ward him out and say, he's up in the top lane. Instantly, you saw Yo-Yo Flash Wolves react, go straight for Dragon. AHQ were nowhere near responding to that. GreenTea got close, so they have the timer. But other than that, Yowie Flash Wolves completely in control again.
I have a question. Did they see actually Jarvan top lane, or did they expect him top lane?
I think they expected. I mean,
yeah, that was a great job by Irelia then.
Yeah.
It was really good. I mean, that was just won by Irelia. This kind of work in the top lane that people don't realize from home is crucial. You know, you can see how good a top laner is by these kind of things.
And actually, if you looked at it, he had that ward on him the whole time. You know, the trinket was up. He waited until the blue buff had gone. I think they obviously suspected it from a long way away. I didn't see whether he passed this pink ward in the
no,
river.
he came from
I don't think he did. He came around the back. Yeah, so so just pure game sense, effectively.
Yeah, it's really good by Irelia.
Is in there, and then obviously waiting to put the ward down. It's like, we've already stole the blue buff away. Now we'll go, yeah, we know you're here. By the way, we've just taken everything from you. So working very well for them so far. Of course, westdoor, don't forget, on that Twisted Fate, can join those fights in the top and bottom lane. So effectively a 2v1 contends with 3v1 very quickly. But Stake playing very ballsy in that top lane, pushing it once again as Albis tries again for the gank. But Rek'Sai is nearby, ready and waiting. He's going to go straight face taking into this one.
Yeah, this could be interesting, actually. We'll force a flash already. The ultimate out there, though, from Ziv.
And there goes the patch.
Yeah, there we go. And we're going to see Twisted Fate now coming up towards his top lane. The yellow card is going to come really out. Good. The knock-up chained in there as well. Good little stump from Stake, but it won't keep him alive. Ziv will pick up his second. A complete contrast to Ziv's first game in this best of 3.
And judging by the crowd shouts, it's clear that AHQ yes. are favourites in this one. They are happy that westdoor finally got something on the board. It was only an assist, though, and it did give Maple all this free time on this mid turret, and he's completely made use of that one, chunking down that tower. westdoor is going to come back into lane, going to dodge, sidestep. Now he's going to land the gold card. We'll get a bit of damage of his own on towards Maple. This is not going well for Maple. westdoor's can he pull the card? Oh, SwordArt trying to bait him in, trying to draw him closer. Has still got ulti, remember. Sitting on that one, SwordArt just going to hold out there. Didn't pull the trigger, so that was patient play from Yowie Flash Wolves, I think. Trying to bait westdoor closer to the bush.
It's funny because the crowd didn't actually cheer for the,
yeah,
for the 2v1. They cheer for the TF, you know, just when he came.
Oh, this could be dangerous though. Wild cards coming out. We'll basically go straight down the middle of Maple and SwordArt. Not getting quite the range to get the gold card off
damage,
in time there. And yeah, westdoor, I mean, Morella Nomicon in there already is going to cause problems. Same could be said for Xerath though, when he lands his spells, which, to be fair, he's been doing a great job of so far. That certainly is causing a few bruises as we see them moving up once again towards that blue area. Probably just going to get some wards down there. See, they stole that last blue away, and they're going to be ready for the next one.
You know, for Ionian Boots, TF, this is telling you a lot about his game plan, actually. He wants to be very mobile with the ultimate. He wants to create a lot of pressure by just having the ultimate. That 15% cooldown reduction plus the Morgana on 20%, you already capped that almost, you know. I mean, no, actually, you already capped that with the Masteries. So that's actually huge.
Yeah, 38.75, pretty down close. Gets that blue buff on him. He's going to be completely capped out. Stake is going to get dived on this bottom lane. I don't think he's going to get an escape from this one. And that was another clean kill for AHQ.
That combo is just so deadly. There's no way you can survive that. It's too much CC chain. Then you have the ultimate of Jarvan on top of that in case you're going to survive. No way, man, no way. It's really, really strong.
Yeah, I mean, even if you're running a cleanse like Xerath is, you cleanse yourself out of the one stun, but then you get knocked up anyway, and then you're stuck inside Cataclysm, and yeah, you're not really getting away from that whatsoever. So AHQ leading the way this time on kills and gold. They're going to be taking, not this wave maybe, because we see NL coming back into that bottom lane. Tower is very low though, so
that's a mistake, I think. That's a mistake, because once you have TF, this, well, you can say fair or you can say doing well, you know, you want to start creating pressure all over the map. So getting this tower can be really crucial. Then you base, then you go mid lane, or you start roaming with Janna with the movement speed. It can make so much more impact than getting 6 more creeps, you know.
Let's see if Xerath decides to go for this one. Blue buff's being started off by AHQ. Whether he's going to try and use that ulti, no. Rek'Sai just tried to steal it away instead. It actually went to Albis. That's a mistake. westdoor didn't get the blue buff, so they had to close that one out. And still doesn't get it, so 2 times running. That's the tower going down in the mid lane. Of course, Maple was working his way in it, making use of the fact that he'd moved away. So that ward working well, not only putting pressure, stealing away the blue buff, also taking the turret. They will lose the top one, though, in reaction there as Ziv finishes off.
Look, I had a theory with the junglers. You remember when they had this mastery that that did a little bit of damage to the camp, and they got the blue buffs, and they tell you, I'm sorry, yeah, this is the mastery that got the blue buff, and now there's no mastery like that, you know. So they're actually getting the blue buff because they attack the blue buff. So I'm really getting tired of this shit already.
Wow, say what you really feel. No,
yeah, Dexter, it's all your fault.
No need to hold back.
These
no
junglers,
need to hold back on that one.
It's too greedy for me, man.
We do, however, have a dragon coming up here soon. And by the way, you know, westdoor, 40% CDR. He's got a crystalline flask. That's enough mana regen and cooldown. Doesn't need the blue buff. That's probably what Albis was saying to him.
That's it. Yeah, that's totally what he was saying.
Or maybe he knows he's jungler and he was already planning ahead.
Wow. Greedy jungler. There's a 3-man stack, actually, AHQ in that mid lane. Looking to see if they can create something. Dragon is up. Remember, Yoey Flash Wolves did get the first one of the game. They're yet to even consider going towards it. westdoor just keeps walking into those Arcado pulses from Maple, or maybe just Maple's so clever at landing them, but
maybe
absolutely
he's like, whatever. He's like, whatever right now. He's walking. I don't care anymore. You're going to hit anyway.
Well, it's just added a needlessly large rod in there, so gonna have some nice little power coming into this next fight. We are seeing a bit of damage onto that bottom turret. They're pinging now towards Dragon. They know that Twisted Fate's gone. Does have Destiny available though, so he can join in. Lissandra has TP as well. There is the Destiny going to be used.
Jarvan
Wait for Lissandra. Yeah, Jarvan's nowhere near that one. So this dragon is going to be going down bearing some miraculous steel. It won't happen for them. They're going to dive straight onto westdoor. He will actually flash there, but he's finished off by the ultimate of Maple. And now he can throw the rest of them towards GreenTea, who will be ticking away. Ultimate running here onto Sivir. She has to flash away as well. So really costly there. Losing out on the dragon, losing a kill as well.
2 mistakes. One from Jarvan, his positional mistake, is really common in junglers because they want to clean camps. No, I'm sorry, Dexter. You don't commit this mistake, I guess, but junglers tend to commit this mistake quite a lot, you know, and of not being in time in Drake, etc. And then another mistake, TF pulled out a Messiah without Zonias and got one-shotted.
Pulled out a Messiah. Or a westdoor, whichever you prefer.
Pulled out himself.
That just sounds wrong, don't say that. Yeah. But anyway, back to the game. You finally caught on, though, good. But yeah, so NL, bottom lane, got himself that static shift complete. Long way off from any damage, though. Infinity Edge still not completed by Anne either. And I always wonder when you obviously we do see these fights, these dragon fights going in there, it's like, have the AD carriers got the items complete? Clearly, neither of them really wanted to go in for that fight. The mid lane is like, I've got items, I'm good to go. Death Cap almost completed, though, by Maple after that one. And of course, big changes to that dragon. You don't get that gold stacked in there. You do still get the experience. And, of course, the stacks. That's the big thing. And at the moment, Yoey Flash Wolves, they seem to be, while they're losing out and technically team fighting, we've seen obviously the ganks in the top lane. When it comes to the tactical play, they just seem steps ahead of AHQ.
Yeah, and I think you're right with your dragon point there that, you know, now the gold kind of lies a little bit to you because of the stats that the dragon goes for. We are seeing NL here having to go on the support, and it looks like we're going to see Albis coming in there as well. He has to flash away, but he's going to be dead here, I think. No, it's not enough ticks onto him. They managed to kill off GreenTea. Albis will be going low. He's now finished off. Whoa, Tristana, I'm not sure why you've just jumped back into that one. Anne's actually, I think, going to get finished off by Xerath, but that's a double kill coming out there for Anne. Let's now see if westdoor can do anything. He's got no mana. He pulls the blue card, so he doesn't get the stun. He gets some mana back, though, and he's going to walk away from it. Ziv had come down, and they didn't want to keep fighting.
He's a good TF, I can tell.
But this has left the top lane open, and that means State can push that one. So while they manage to calm down and hold off and keep the kills going, it is going to gift the second turret of the game to Yoey Flash Wolves. Much closer game than the first matchup, where Yoey Flash Wolves dominated AHQ. Definitely starting to put a bit of fight up for this one.
Yeah, I see this game much closer, actually. And now, in this moment, is when we are actually going to realize who, I mean, if AHQ knows how to synergize between the jungler and the support and get wards in the opposite jungle, or not. This is the exact moment, you know. They are playing against Morgana Xerath, which is really hard to ward against, because if they have vision of you, you're going to either die or drop to 20%. And we will actually see how they do it. It's a hard task, actually. Oh, Sivir damage. What the hell?
They're not giving him blue buff, you know. Maybe you're right.
You see the HP of Morgana? That was one attack. I mean, 2 attacks and 1 Q of Sivir.
So Albis took the blue buff again. This time around, they're not even giving it to him. Like, westdoor was off in the top lane. So.
Well, like, whatever, just take it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I hate it when those mid laners aren't in time for the blue buff, so you have to take it yourself, you know?
You need this last minion, you know, for the words, etc. Or for the amplifying tome, rather. 2
sides to every coin.
Yes, that's true.
Just saying. Yeah. So let's have a look down some items here. Once again, death cap done there for Maple. That's a dangerous 3-0-1 on the mid lane. There's a bit of a stack in the bottom lane as well, where Albis is just waiting, seeing who actually decides to come through, and the Howling Gale misses, which means they're probably not going to be too much, unless NL steps too far out here. No flash for Jarvan though, so he can't make up that extra ground.
Actually, if Janna would have hit that Q, Morgana would have dropped very low.
Oh, here we go. Teleport comes in. Everybody piles in. GreenTea goes down. Ooh. We do see coming around the side. NL runs away from this one, but that's going to be Karsa completely pinned off. It's going to be a 1-for-1, a support for jungler. And AHQ going to keep on pushing on this one. It is leaving the mid lane open. We do see Maple pushing in there, but that will be the bottom turret going down. The question is, will they keep pushing, or will they try and head off Maple?
Oh, they might actually get more kills here. NL going very, very low. Will get finished off. Albis will pick up that one, and he manages to lock up Stake inside the Cataclysm as well. SwordArt can't stick around for this one, and this is going to be an inner turret trade. We're seeing the bottom one going down. The middle inner turret has gone down on the other side. Maple's actually still pushing. He'll probably not push for longer when he sees that Janna is actually there. Yeah, we can see him now backing off. So inner turret for inner turret, but kills going the way of AHQ.
No, normally, the second mid tower is worth more than the second bottom tower. Although, when you have TF in your side, you want to get as many tier 2 towers as possible, because then it opens up the game, right? And if it comes to late game, TF is always bound to win against those opened up areas.
Well, we'll see if it works out in their favor. It doesn't mean, of course, Sonya's hourglasses are being stacked out soon. Ziv and westdoor very close to completing those items. They've got identical items across the board so far. We do also have a fair amount of damage starting to get in towards the AD carriers, so let's not forget NL is going to start coming into this game as the levels progress, as the Tristana always will. And at the moment, with the dragon spawning in just 5 seconds time...
This is a huge fight, man. This is going to be a huge fight.
This is the one that counts. This is the team fight they absolutely need, and everybody is heading that way. Oh, Stake's backed away. He's got his TP up, though. Yeah.
To be fair, your flash... Ooh, the damage. Mid.
Oh, where are we going? There's a camera finally joining in. westdoor actually getting caught between 2, but SwordArt will flash away. It's enough to actually finish off there. westdoor gets the last second. Zonya's Maple being forced completely out of the fight, but here comes the rest of them. Stake going low. Albis inside of the Cataclysm might go down. As they see on the backside, Rek'Sai cleaning up, and that's a 5-for-0. Yowie actually surviving completely there. They're going to go straight towards Baron.
And they look ecstatic about it. That's for sure. Remember, we are on 5.1, so this Baron is just a pussycat these days at the 22-minute mark. It used to wreck your face, but now with Karsa on Rek'Sai in there, they will take it down. 5-man ace and a Baron. We talked about that. This is the team fight. This is the one that's going to tell, but wow.
There was no team fight. This is, like, out of every possible outcome, this is probably the outcome I expected the less, you know, because if I was about to say, if I was Wolves, I wouldn't even fight this, and I would just go top lane and get deep vision, because they're gonna get wrecked in a team fight. But there was no team fight.
And look at that, the power of Rek'Sai as he just ulted straight to his tunnel. Pops, don't forget the Baron buff, it will buff up all of those minions. And now GreenTea's been pinned out here. Oh, the Dark Bind in long range captures him out, and now they're starting off the Dragon.
They're going to start and finish it, I think, here. I don't think that Jarvan is going to even risk coming anywhere near this now. You can see they've already backed away, and that will be the 3rd Dragon with Baron buff on now, with a kill lead. And we can see that also gave NL his Infinity Edge finish, so got those 2 items that he needs to just clean up.
Somebody needs to head off Stake, because he's going to take that turret down to the top. Remember, he's got the Baron buff. They're buffing up the minions in every single lane so far, while the rest of Yo Flash Wolves are down there. He will back away. Ziv's going to come up. They don't have any ward coverage in that top half of the jungle, so Stake's kind of uncovered, and they are going to try and set up for this bottom inner turret.
And 2 minutes ago, I guarantee you, man, because I saw it, AHQ was almost 2k ahead in gold. And see how things are right now. They're 5k behind, just in 2 minutes. It was a catastrophe, man.
It has definitely gone badly wrong for them. They're already 1-0 down in this game. One more game for Yoey Flash Wolves, and they will be booking their place in the finals. Of course, it's going to be TPA or Saigon Jokers. One more shot onto Anne would have taken him down. One more anything would have taken him down there, in fact. Minions are going to keep on pushing. Stakes shoving the mid lane with those buffed up minions, while the rest of the team step away. They need to collect up their waves. They're going to steal away the blue buff. Poor old westdoor's not getting a look in on this one.
No, and this is the problem. You know, last game was slightly different. She had Corki instead of Tristana, but still with a 305 Xerath, you're going to struggle to stay on your turret to actually defend things. You get to a point where you're like, we either have to fight them here and risk losing it, or we lose the tower anyway.
Tier 2 towers are dead anyway, so you don't have that little shield, that little help. So they're pretty much doomed at this point. They need a Baron to wear off, and then just go in with all the stuff they have, you know, Sivir, ulti, Jarvan plus Lissandra, but they really need to wait for the Baron, and they will lose one inhibitor at least.
We haven't really mentioned the synergy that the Rek'Sai and Xerath have together, actually, because obviously you got that little radar coming out from Rek'Sai these days.
Yeah, that's true.
Kind of shows Xerath exactly where he needs to
snipe. I didn't think about that, actually.
And it does, of course, mean the inhib is... They didn't get it down, did they? They didn't get it down, but they're going to go in.
Yeah, Jarvan on top of them there, but he's going to die before they can do much. That's a great monsoon from GreenTea, but will it keep them there long enough? We see Anne popping his ultimate. I think they're going to get Karsa. In fact, it looks like he will just stick around and be the sacrificial lamb. It'll take them forever to actually kill him off. And now westdoor chasing into that. He'd already used the Destiny. They get a 3-for-1, so they've managed to keep the inhibitor alive.
That was perfect, man. Imagine if they do this when they're even or little ahead. It's just ridiculous the amount of damage they have. They can still win this game, which is really good.
I mean, this is the big problem, that the fact that Stake wasn't there the entire fight. It was a 4v5. He did go back and shove down that top turret. Didn't I think he picked it up in the end there. Yeah, he did. Managed to finish that one off. So it was a 4v5. But it gives AHQ another foothold to get back in there. You talked about the gold differential. It's a 7,000 gold differential still, so they've got a long way to go to get back in there. But there is signs that it is possible. Of course, with that double Zhonya's Hourglass now completed, Ziv is going to throw himself into those fights, give himself that freedom. westdoor is going to be looking to use that Destiny to get around the back, to make those picks onto either Maple or NL. And maybe, just maybe, when the next Baron comes up, they're going to be in a position to fight for it.
Anyway, they have to play the way they played with Irelia split pushing anyway. Irelia is a split pusher. Look at the items of Irelia. She has no armor yet. Therefore, she cannot tank tower hits. Therefore, she's not able to group with the team. So she needs to keep split pushing. What Yo Wolves needs to do, they need to play as more defensive. In the meantime, she's not in the tier 3 tower. Tier 3 or tier 1? How is it called? The last tower?
3.
I just call it
3, right?
I just call it inhibitor.
Okay, the inhibitor, yeah, right. So when she's there, then they're free to push, but not before.
Well, so far, Karsa is the one that's just pushed up saying, okay, I'm going to keep you away from everything. We're going to get our wards down once again, and they're going to try and break through here to finish off that inhibitor, get those super minions coming in and maybe give them a little bit more to work with over on the other sides of the map. Watch for those dark bindings and watch for Xerath to land something here onto, well, really anyone at this point. I think Jarvan there with that Banshee's Veil will be feeling a little more comfortable, but that Xerath's still going to cause you all kinds of pain.
They're so scared of Ziv going in because he's got his ulti back up, he's got his Zhonya's back up, and they keep just stepping forward. Remember, NL, though, does have good range. He's still only level 14, hasn't got max range on Tristana yet, so they're really only just glancing blows is the word I'm after. On towards that turret instead, they're going to pile on in there. Yeah, have they got enough?
Well, going towards Jarvan, not sure it was the best idea, but look at that. We see the Zhonya's going to be used by Lissandra. She's going to go down, stun onto westdoor. That's it. That's the go signal here for the Yoey Flash Wolves. And there's a knock up onto Anne as well. westdoor finally goes down. And this is easy peasy for Stake. He's going to get himself 3 kills. And this could well be the game.
That was just the perfect blade surge opportunity as an Irelia to see everybody that low. You're like, whoa, it's like domino rally just running straight through them. And they quickly do the damage. damage. Oh, Rek'Sai's going to try and tank out the turret. Ziv's going to go in, but he's going to get obliterated. And this will be a 2-0 for Yowie Flash Wolves. AHQ have been decimated in this first semi-final of the series. They're going to be through to the finals of the Intel Extreme Masters here in Taipei.
That was just really good, actually. I don't know how the hell they won this game, to be honest, because they were supposed to lose it in that Drake fight. They catch so well. They use Morgana really good, actually.
Yeah, and that's it. We were talking after game number 1. We were maybe even thinking, after we saw them play that Corki Morgana yesterday, that Morgana might have been a ban that you go towards, especially when, you know, there were so many mid lane bans. Yet Maple ends 3-1-8 westdoor, showing that once again he'll pick Twisted Fate. He's not really scared of going something different. So, you know, if they're all open, if you can play all the mid lanes, it makes it less needed to ban them, surely. I mean,
maybe it's not that much about that, but about the fact that Morgana just synergizes perfectly with Xerath, and out of every mid laner open, what's left? Xerath and Jace, maybe, you know? That's a lot of like long range poke, which works perfectly with Morgana. So they should have maybe just, I mean, it's easy to say now, you know, because they lost, but of course Morgana was a huge problem, and he's been playing Morgana perfectly.
I mean, overall, just a very well played semi-final, honestly, by Yowie Flash Wolves. You know, obviously, us as the Western world, we haven't seen a great deal of Yowie Flash Wolves. They're a new team that's, well, I would say new team. It's the Gamina Bears, effectively, but they're certainly showing that they deserve to be in that place. And you can see why they're second in that league as well. They only have dropped a game against Taipei Assassins, who may actually be in the finals. You know, they were up against Saigon Jokers. They're clearly the big favorites to get through there. But AHQ, after having a pretty good Worlds, they have obviously changed the team a fair amount. There's, I think, three changes in the team.
Yeah, 2 or 3, yeah.
Since the World Championship. So, yes, it is a difference. But overall, they just look worlds apart at the moment. The AHQ were not in the races there. Well, like you even said, you know, they should have won the team fights, but they didn't, because the team fight potential of the Yowie Flash Wolves just seemed so good.
Yeah, it's true. On the other hand side, yesterday I was thinking that maybe Bangkok Titans was just really bad in comparison with the Wolves. Although I can say right now that these guys, your Wolves, are actually really good. Like the way they move, it's just really, really good. The way they peek is very smart as well. They just do everything really Asian style, you know, really perfect, like not many mistakes.
I do remember from Worlds when we were over there, obviously we were talking a lot to the community guys that were there, and we had a lot of feedback basically saying, you know, they really do mimic the Korean style. They look to the
you
Korean
can
style.
see that. You can see that the way they play.
Teams have got Korean coaches over there as well. They've had a few Korean players as well, so you can see that obviously that's the server they look to, the safe. Well, why not? They've been world champions for the last 2 seasons, so obviously it's the best one to mimic, but they seem to be doing a pretty damn good job of it.
And that's the interesting thing, you know, you were talking about Bangkok Titans. They have exactly the same record as the Saigon Jokers have over in GPL. Top of their group, both 6-0. Obviously, we saw yesterday AHQ beating the Bangkok Titans 2-0, and TPA have already beaten AHQ. So, not sure what to expect from Saigon Jokers at this point. Obviously, they're in different groups, so it's harder to kind of tell who's the stronger team there. But, you know, that next semi-final coming up, and considering how good TPA looked yesterday, I don't know. It's going to be a tough one to call. I think it's going to be a very hard game for the Saigon Jokers.
Yeah, Avant-Garde got swept aside by Taipei Assassins.
Oh, yes.
See if you missed that one. TPA are top of the group. They have got a victory already over Yowie Flash Wolves in that league. So we'll obviously be checking that one out if TPA do make it in there. But that are going to be coming up in just a few months.